This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by AN Hosting, offering premium web hosting. Today on TRS, it's time to find out what else is on our radar this week.
Today we are back with On My Radar. Very excited. The three of us are going to kind of talk about what individually, maybe not a movie or video game we're going to be reviewing on the show, but that has been taking up our time or something that we've found interesting throughout the week, 2 weeks.
Something that's
whatever.
on our radar.
On our radar.
Oh, it seems so easy when you just say it like that.
Oh, interesting.
You know what that's
Empire
from?
Strikes Back.
That's right.
Yeah. So Jeffrey.
Well, it's funny
What is
that
on
you
your
mentioned
radar?
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back is on your radar?
In a way.
I just watched it, and it's really
You
good.
really need to see this. No.
Oh, Hoth is cold.
What's been on my radar, actually over the holiday break when I was on vacation, my girlfriend and I watched all of the Red Letter Media reviews. Now, you may have heard of this guy. He was big when he released that big 70-minute long review of The Phantom Menace a few years ago. Well, he just released his last of that trilogy. He did episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3.
Yeah.
And a lot of people maybe have watched a little portion of the first one or all of the first one. We sat down and watched all of his reviews. He's done all the Star Wars movies and and Star Trek and
God damn,
something
how much
else.
time was that?
It's a lot of time, but you know, it was vacation. We were having fun. Let me tell you, these have really stuck with me. I now, hate the prequels with a passion, but they're so good and they're so worth watching in their entirety, especially the third one. I urge everybody to sit down and watch all of the third one. It's 90 minutes.
Does it
Such
have
a
the
great-
movie
it's-
in it?
Well, he
yeah.
uses clips. He has
not
very
seen the Phantom Menace one?
specific.
I saw, but I didn't know.
He has very specific criticisms. He analyzes the movie in a very deep, interesting way. And from a filmmaking perspective, you learn more about screenwriting and filmmaking in this than I think you could in 7 books that you would read.
Interesting. I
And
read
it-
6, so
it
I'm gonna
makes
maybe
me-
hold off on that 7.
It makes me realize that George Lucas does not understand his own movies. There are so many little tidbits. I'll throw out a couple just to tease you.
Hit me.
One is, there's no freaking reason why the Jedi robes are the Jedi robes. Those shouldn't be the Jedi robes. They are what people on Tatooine wore to protect themselves from the sand. They're not what Jedis wore. If they were what Jedis wore, Uncle Ben would be a Jedi. But he's not. He wears those robes because he lives on Tatooine. Or not Uncle Ben, but Uncle Owen. Excuse me. Uncle Owen. Ben Kenobi wouldn't be walking around dressed like a Jedi in what Jedis wear. He's in hiding on Tatooine, dressed like a resident of Tatooine. And they become...
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
George Lucas doesn't understand his own movies.
Now, there is, I didn't read it, I don't know if you saw that there is a rebuttal some dude wrote.
that'd be interesting.
You actually have to download a PDF.
Oh, I'd love to
was
read that.
posted. I didn't read it.
But there's so many things like that. There's so many great
Yeah.
things. It's like George Lucas fetishized Darth Vader to a point that even in his first movie, like Darth Vader isn't the center of this universe, and he becomes the center of the universe because he became popular, and George Lucas doesn't understand his own movies. Very worth watching. It's on
Interesting.
my radar.
Very interesting.
Can't get it out of my head, in fact.
I may have to check that out.
Yep.
Interesting. Daniel Trachtenberg, on your radar?
On the
Blah, blah.
Can we do this again?
Yes. So Jeff, you ready to go again?
On my radar my Vader radar, is the trailer for Scream 4. We've all now watched it.
Yes.
And I really thought, when I heard that they were making a Scream 4 and I saw Kevin Williamson twittering about it, Wes Craven twittering, I felt like this isn't really gonna be, this is like a straight to video,
Yeah.
I was delightfully surprised by as the trailer started, I thought to myself, but how are they doing this? This isn't because
Where are these images coming from?
we've now
I just
gotten to
look
a
at this
point,
little device.
because we've now gotten to a point where we've already had those self-referential, they've already been referenced over and over again in the movies that Scream inspired. So But what won me over was the idea that we are in a new era to call hey, upon, which is we're just we're in a
I'm
place
Dan
to be.
Trachtenberg. I call hey upon
Scream basically called out other horror movies at the crap they were doing, recycling over and over, and then one-upped them and kind of did it as well. And Scream 4 seems to do that with remakes,
that was really
rehashes,
cool,
and it's got that wonderful movie within a movie thing that even the Scream sequels did. That's kind of why I felt like, but the sequels already did that, like commenting on its own.
On sequels.
Celebrity,
Yeah.
But it seems to really now get totally meta. And Wes Craven's always been very meta, with movies like Shocker and even Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which had that crazy, like, it's about the making of Nightmare on Elm Street, like, crazy. But this really seems to be like, he's playing that mind game. He's not just making a sequel, he's playing the mind game. So I have high hopes. What, did you guys? You got my first feeling.
Yeah, I had high hopes before I saw the trailer, and I saw the trailer.
I did. My brain went exactly where yours did. I was like, we've seen this. Why do I need this? And then it was like, oh, they're doing it, but about now.
It's happening.
My mind is being.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Daniel.
What's
Thank
on
you,
your
Jeffrey.
radar?
On my radar is what I like to call a surprise. It's World of Warcraft.
Oh, that's no surprise.
But here is what I want to say. Over the last 2 days,
sucks.
I had the opportunity to start raid progression of the sort of endgame raiding in Cataclysm.
Your radar's broken. It only hits two things.
Rating.
I will tell you
rating
right
radar.
now, I am so happy with what WoW is doing with the endgame content of Cataclysm. And I had not reached it. The heroic stuff is all great and doing all that stuff, but getting into raids, they completely upped the ante. Now, I didn't get deep into the raid progression in Wrath of the Lich King, but I got far enough. Yeah, I actually did that quest. It was good.
We should do that. We should do that segment.
But what? What?
I don't want,
just the
I don't
tip.
want to
No.
do that segment.
No.
Every year he asks us to do
Every
this,
year, and we are always like,
say no.
Just a
Dan-
segment is where we just try
One
something
tip?
for
We just give one
No,
tip.
I don't want to try what you want to
All
try.
right, but here's the thing. They really upped the ante on what these raid bosses are like. I mean, the experience of going in and the pure weird understanding of how these fights work and the fight mechanics. The fact that somebody figured out how these fights work and to succeed. We came up with one of the first bosses in Throne of the Four Winds, I think is what it is literally 3 genies on 3 platforms in the air, right? Mm-hmm. You need to kill all 3 of the genies at the exact same time, right?
Wow.
But you can't stay on the platforms, so you're literally, people are counting down and then going switch and jump, like getting shot Mario style, crossing people in the air.
That reminds me of
setting
something
up-
from Nax, though. That was like in Nax where you would have to kill the 2 guys at the exact same moment and your tanks would swap.
Yeah, I mean a little bit. The Polartron guys.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like that, but you would only swap tanks just because you would. I mean, it sort of. But it's 3 guys.
So what's the
and
awesome?
genies.
What is the awesome part? The fact that it's like crazy.
It's
things
new.
to
It's what's
figure out.
awesome is it's new.
No, is that it's so.
I'm not naysaying. I like it too.
It's so difficult and fun and interesting. Like there's a fire worm, and at one point you have to slam
mega
its
fire worm?
head onto a spike and then hold it down while everybody does extra damage. I mean, it's like the things that these guys come up with, it's ridiculous.
What'll
And
they
it's-
think of next?
It's so much fun. It is one of those things that it is hard as hell, and the joy of being able to figure out these puzzles,
Yeah, they really are puzzles.
it's just
They don't seem
mind-blowing.
like logic puzzles. They seem like look it up to figure out like.
Well, yeah.
Can you
Well,
ever,
but it's
also a
how do
puzzle
you
of
ever
execution.
figure that out? Like you're saying, like how would you
Well, that's what
ever
the-
on your own?
You get into the group and then you go. I mean,
PTR
literally.
is for, really.
But also, we did that too because we would go like, I don't know what these guys do. Let's just see. And we were getting our ass kicked, and then somebody was like, so everybody spread out, and we all spread out, and then we were able to do it.
I will say one of Blizzard's things that they say that they want to work on moving forward is to remove that moment where you walk into a boss fight and have no idea, and the only way you learn is by dying. They want to be able to walk in and have how you kill it be instantly accessible to the player. So
I do like the idea.
I mean, it should at least feel like any other great video game where like you can think if you're smart, you go, oh, of course it's that.
No, I think they
None
want to
of
even
these
go
sound like,
farther.
of course it's that.
I think they want to go even farther and have it be in the lore, like you can look up a reference. At least that's what they were saying at BlizzCon.
Yeah, BlizzCon. Well, the other thing that they've done, which I've been really excited about, is we downed 5 raid bosses over the last couple days, and only one of them was a single boss.
Yeah.
Everything else was an experience that was happening.
Right.
One of
Ads
them
and all kinds of stuff happening.
No, like one of them was the boss was 4 golems that all had different abilities. And
Like
that
the 4 horsemen
and,
in X.
But they would most of them were asleep, and they would randomly wake up, and you would have to switch when they would randomly wake up. But then 2 of them would be up, and their ability, like 2 of them had AOE abilities, and if they were up, then everybody was getting hit by AOE, and it was just a random whoever got up. I mean, it was they're really really smart, and
say again,
I'm happy that I got back into
The
raiding.
guy on my radar, I'll say him again, Red Letter Media, and watch the Star Trek review too. Encyclopedic knowledge of Star Trek.
Star Trek,
interesting. The new one.
The new one.
the new one.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting stuff.
And also what Dan said.
What did you say?
The
Dan?
Scream 4 trailer?
There you go.
Do it.
Yeah.
Remember to stick around for this day in rad history, but first we want to thank our sponsors. AN Hosting has been providing simple and affordable web hosting since 2001. I bet you didn't know that. I'm going to tell you that right
That's
now.
10 years ago.
I know. Exclusive discount for you, 3 months free for any TRS viewer.
Wow.
Free domain and $100 search engine credit with either Google or Yahoo.
Awesome.
With the sign up, you get 24/7 US-based customer support, chat, and email. US-based, just saying. You know, power to the people. Keep it in the USA. Unless you're watching from one of our friendly neighbors, then we
Please
would
be friendly.
stay friendly. I'm out. Over 100 popular scripts like Drupal and WordPress. If you go to www.anhosting.com/TRS, you can get your 3-month free trial of web hosting. Good
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah.
We love that. We love
I just
that
wanted
stuff.
to mention there. In my thing on my radar.
Yes. Okay.
We were talking after we stopped recording, and yeah, there's a weird like overstory that he puts in that's kind of disgusting and not cool, but you can overlook it. It's not a big deal.
Perfect. All right, people. We'll see you tomorrow. What?
Tomorrow, check out our review of the TV show Lights Out.
Today is January 26th, and on this day in Rad, way back in the year 2010,
Whew, that was a long time ago.
Avatar surpassed Titanic, becoming the highest grossing film of all time. Of course, Titanic, the 1997 film that Jim Cameron made.
With his money out of his pocket.
And then, of
the man
course-
likes to put his own money into movies that make a whole bunch of it back.
And at Andrew Core sent that in. Thank you, Andrew. This is kind of the pimpest fact we've ever
It
done.
really is.
Yeah.
And it just happened a year. We're already in history. We've already made history.
Oh, that's
History.
good.
Thank you, Avatar.